Hey everyone, welcome to the Fan Club YouTube channel. I'm Will.
I'm Lawson.
And I'm Austin.
Join us every Monday for interviews with top athletes, creators, and entertainers from all around the world.
So please make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
And thank you for joining our fan club community. Now please enjoy this episode.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fan Club Pod. We are super excited today as we have an amazing interview coming up with Isaac Rochell. Boys, how pumped are we for this one?
We are very pumped for this episode. It happened so quickly that it went from not happening to happening in the matter of 2 days. So we're just excited.
Yeah,
We got energy.
First off, we want to thank all of you for liking that duetted video that Isaac made of our fan club calling him and Allison out to come on the pod. Right after he posted it, he messaged us and was like, well, this is going to hit it. So let's start planning now. I'm in Minneapolis. I'll cancel my early flight. He pushed his flight back a few hours. And yeah, so
He's a man of his word.
really excited for him to come in and for us to talk to him.
Yeah.
What a great guy to take time out of his early travel day.
Seriously.
To stop here.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Especially from a podcast that's not massive, not well known, and we have 2,000 followers or something on TikTok.
4.
So he but yeah, before the duet, we now have 4 flex. But when he saw that video to make a duet, it's I don't know what it would take for me to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. People must have just been tagging him, and
Yeah.
he just saw it when he was on his flight to Minneapolis.
I can't believe I was the first one to see it too on our TikTok.
You saw it right away, didn't you?
I think it was 20 some minutes.
Really?
After. Yeah, and I was still here, and then I saw it. I'm like, oh my goodness, we got to share this around. It didn't have too many views and likes. I'm like 10,000 or 100,000. Of course, he'd throw an outrageous number at us. But I was set up, tried to make a duet.
Yeah, that was
Took me an hour.
What was your initial reaction when you saw that message by him? Were you kind of just double, you did a little double take, what? Is this real? Yeah, is this real?
Had to pinch myself, yeah. I would
All
say
worked
it was,
out.
It took less than 12 hours because you maybe sent that around 7.
It was late,
8 p.m. And when I woke up at 6, it was at 106K likes.
Yeah.
So
It was
look at that.
Picture me seeing the duet notification on TikTok and me getting my, in the movies they got that huge horn and they blow it to their massive, their army, to you see that
to get prepared.
Yeah,
That's
to get prepared for war. That was me. That was me going on the Hockey Guys account and sending it and putting a story up and
you do it
rallying
the troops.
Yeah, I was rallying the troops. It's let's go, guys. We got to get 100,000 likes. Let's do it.
We need all THG fans. Let's go.
Yeah, calling all THG
fans unite.
Yeah, that's it. That's put that image in your head. That was
Lawson
me.
went up
And
on
they
the-
did a great job because it worked.
It worked. It worked. But so who are we missing here today?
Frizz.
Where is he?
Sleeping in.
He had a big graduation.
Yeah.
He's sleeping in today.
His family's all here too, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
spend some time with them. I think they're taking off today, so
yeah.
I guess filling in for Frizz. Hope that's
Yeah.
okay, everybody.
We do have another guest in the actual office right now. I'm looking at him right now.
Mr.
he could-
Kaplan's around here.
David Kaplan has made his.
Does he want to pop into
appearance.
the camera?
Do you want to say hi, Dave?
Dave?
You want to come sit in my spot, Dave?
You want to say
You can say hi and hang.
Make your debut.
Here, come sit where I am.
We grabbed Isaac a couple coffees. I got him 2 I got 2 Americanos and 2 lattes because I just wanted to make sure that, and a coffee cake. Can't forget about the coffee cake, but wanted to make sure that he just had options just in case. I didn't know what he liked.
I think we need to introduce a new guest to the pod, and he called himself this earlier today, but he came in on Sunday. Mr. David Kaplan, as he called himself, a.k.a. the Clout Chaser. What's going on,
true.
Dave?
How's it going? Yeah, I gave myself the title of Clout Chaser because I knew that there was a special guest coming into the office this morning, and I'm a big fan. Wanted to say hi.
You know it's a big deal when they send corporate in.
Yeah. HR.
The back office is in today.
corporate team came in.
He
to
came
shake
in to
hands.
check out.
Yeah.
If Isaac wasn't here, we wouldn't have seen him.
Yeah.
No, no chance.
Oh, it's
We
good.
love having you in the office, Dave.
Oh, I appreciate it. Got some
Yeah.
work done. Now my Sunday's ready to go.
Yeah,
Got the rest of the day.
it's amazing.
The world is your oyster.
We had a great day and a great interview coming up. Super excited to chat with Isaac. He should be rolling in any minute now, so let's send it over to him. We're rolling. Cameras are rolling.
What a beast.
It took us 15 episodes to get to this point
Get
where
this smooth.
you should like the first 5, 6, 7 episodes was such a learning curve. So
I know. Well, like my wife and I are about to start a
I was
podcast,
gonna ask
Nice.
that.
and she's like sneaky and expert in stuff like this because
Yeah.
she's done vlogging for like 10 years. So hopefully we don't have like that much of a learning curve. To be determined.
yeah, no, we learned something new every single time we
Yeah.
recorded and did the editing. So
There's tons of resources out there. The only thing we need
Yeah.
to clean up is our little rat's nest of cords
Yeah.
over here.
No, that's part of the grit.
But, like,
if you ever lose that,
no one-
then you lose
yeah.
you lose the edge.
No
We
one,
get too fancy.
no one knows about it unless you're here, so it doesn't matter. Well,
Yeah.
dude, welcome to Minnesota.
I know. Minnesota's kind of unreal.
Yeah.
It's definitely slept on. But it's random because I mentioned Minnesota on social media, and like people are like, why Minnesota? I'm like, my mom lives here. Like my whole family is in Minnesota.
Huh.
I grew up in Georgia, but my parents got divorced once I got to college, and then my mom moved back up here near family. This place is unreal. Land of 10,000.
oh yeah,
It's pretty cool.
Have you spent a lot of time here?
Yeah.
Like, in the past?
Yeah, so my extended family, there's 2 cabins. Like my aunt and uncle have a cabin in like northern Minnesota, Lake Vermilion and Sand Lake. Yeah, see,
I got a cousin on Lake Vermilion.
the place is unreal.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because when I mention it to people from Minnesota, there's always somebody that gives that reaction.
Yeah.
It's like, and it hits them in the heart.
Yeah.
But it is really pretty up there. So we went up there like every year for 4th of July. And then now it's more Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And we're up there every once in a while. But I have some time under my belt in Minnesota.
That's awesome.
The only problem is they got no gym access here, hey?
Yeah, I saw that.
Bro, I was so disappointed. But what I wasn't disappointed in is people like responding. Like there were people that were like, I will literally do anything to give you my guest pass.
Yeah.
I was honored. But it's crazy because California is like, I mean, it's for better or for worse. There's gyms on every corner that are overpriced, but they're very nice. And so I'm like, okay, what are our options? LA Fitness, like Snap Fitness, 24-hour. Okay, I'll go to the Edina Lifetime. That place looks like a fortress. And then they were like, I mean, it was a humbling. They were like, no guest passes.
Interesting.
No day passes either. Hey,
Yeah, no day passes. And I'm like, my thought, and we don't need to get on I need to go down a rabbit trail here, or whatever the saying is. But I'm like, you could charge me like $300. Your membership's less than that.
Yeah.
I would pay anything right now to get a pump in. Like I'm 200 milligrams deep on caffeine. Like I will pay anything to get a pump in. And they were like, no. So whatever.
And then you settled for the run, hey?
Yeah, the old again, the land of 10,000, just down to the lake near my mom's house.
Hey, yeah,
Like,
yesterday was a pretty good day for that, at least.
oh yeah,
It's a great day for the run.
yeah, we ran 3 miles, which I was proud of, and then pickleball, which
nice.
again another Minnesota
Nice.
reaction, like
Nice.
nice.
We've been getting into that a lot.
Yeah.
We're
It's-
planning to kind of start our own league between us 6 that are living out of here.
Well, you guys have the gang. You guys can go, and it's like
Right.
all you need is each other. Like 'cause
Yeah.
you
It's
have
true.
enough people.
There's automatically a 2-on-2 match wherever we go, basically. Whatever
Yeah.
sport we play, whatever.
Yeah, and then you can run a little tournament action because you got 6.
That's the plan.
You know, so it's fun though, and people in Minnesota love pickleball.
Mm-hmm. That is
Sorry.
true. There's pickleball courts popping up everywhere. I'm pretty sure that Lifetime has pickleball too, but
Yes,
you wouldn't know, I guess.
I mean, I couldn't even see the bench. I'm like looking. They're like, "Sir, don't look that way. You're not a member.
Not a member.
You're not a paying member."
South Daily Dinah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's whatever. But there's a lot of pickleball in California too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a growing sport.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it kind of starts more there on the coast, and then it's making its way here into the central lands, and then that's when we're picking it up. So we're probably behind you, honestly.
Yeah, but you guys are committed to it. It's a different type of excitement when you've had 6 months of just like 30 below.
Yeah.
Or 30 and below. So like I think Californians are a little like, oh yeah, I'll go play like next weekend. I don't need to like savor this 165-degree day.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we can only golf for 4 months, pickleball 4 months. Otherwise, everything's indoors, and we don't like the golf simulators. It's not the same.
It's not the same. I will say though, like Minnesotans or however you say it, like y'all find a way even when it's freezing to keep the action going. Like my mom, like she'd be like, "Oh, I'm going snowshoeing." I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
What, like snowshoeing? But the action just keeps going. So, even though it's cold, whatever.
You got it. So since you spent a lot of time here, can you skate?
No.
Never been on the ice?
I have been, but it's like embarrassing. And it was like my time on the ice was like my wife being like, "Oh, can we go on like a cute like date?" I'm like, "Well, I'm 6'5", 260, and I'm black. Like there's a height limit, weight limit."
Little hand holding skate date, like one of those.
It's
Yeah,
just
and
not
I'm up
even
there-
relaxing because you can't balance.
Not at all. And I've always got the built-in excuse like this isn't safe for football, and but that's the only time that I've done it. But some of my homies, Michael Badgley, great guy. He's like hype on hockey, like
Nice.
both watching and playing. He played back in the day. He's a kicker for the Lions. He's always talking. He's like, "Dude, I could say skate circles around all you guys." Like he's always bringing it up, and I'm like, I literally don't play. Like, sure you could,
Yeah.
but no, I have no time on the ice.
We'll start on some rollerblades in California.
Yeah.
And then next winter you can come back here and we'll get you on the ice.
I want you to picture me on some rollerblades. Like
I
I'm
know.
judging me.
I want to see it.
I'm
I think you
pic-
start a series. Isaac learns to roller skate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Zoe 101, a theme song in the background
Yeah.
with me skating.
And roller skating's probably harder to learn, I think.
It's hard because you can't stop. You kind of
Yeah.
once you get going,
Yeah,
you
that's true.
can lose control.
It's a little more dangerous because you go downhill, especially in LA when the hills are pretty steep, and
And
you
usually-
get
yeah.
moving and you're running right into the street.
And you have to dodge people probably.
I mean, there's zero part of me that's interested.
We'll cancel
What?
that idea.
I'm like, I
But
don't know.
I would say down the boardwalk in Venice, though, if you could rollerblade down that's worth it
vibe.
because you got like a mile long, 2 miles long, and just skate down. It's kind of like a trend to do that, I think.
It is. And the
there'd be-
skate parks down there are crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw when we were down there, and it was like
That
a
one
different
is
world
cool.
for us. It's like it was Muscle
the
Beach,
Venice-
Venice Beach. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, and everybody's wearing like Dickies and Vans, and you're like, wait, you guys like do this like for functionality. It's
Yeah.
not like cool, like I'm like trendy. It's like, no, like this is like the best
Yeah,
shoe to
so-
wear.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we were watching a guy he must have been trying to hit a specific trick because he was doing the same thing over and he just kept falling. We're like sitting there, it's like, how's this guy like falling on his butt and getting back up and doing it right again? It's like, holy cow.
I cannot skateboard.
No, it's
I
crazy.
can't even stand on one.
Yeah, I could longboard, but skateboarding is like, I don't know, it's too small of a board.
Yeah. Not enough time here to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's another summer activity.
You're limited to like just a short little time.
Let's go back to the fact that you're actually sitting here right now. And did you cancel your flight
I
to
did.
be here?
I did, but I will say I canceled a Southwest flight. I have no issues with Southwest, but the flight that I got is a Delta. It's a much better seat.
Okay.
So it's like minor setback for a major comeback. And I was kind of committed to the pod regardless.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that the people came through. Because
Yeah.
I was probably going to do it, like if it was a dud video, like whatever, who cares? I was like, I'll still support and come hang out with you guys. But it's pretty crazy.
Was it just because we called you out, or what made you? Because we're a tiny podcast,
Yeah, how
too.
did
We're
you
not
see-
big on social media. So, like, you saw it and we're like, I just got to do it because they called me out, or what?
I felt the energy.
Okay. Okay.
Well, yes, but so my homie Michael Badgley, who I mentioned, we had a podcast back in the day, the Mike and Ike Show, that we did really well with. People loved it, and like I've done other things where like I've needed people, like I've needed engagement from like influencers, and I need other people that were like could help me along the process. And so like when you made the video, I'm like, all right, these dudes, like if they're making this video and they're willing to say that, like yeah, why would I not? If I have an extra hour, why would I not be on the podcast? So I get the hustle, I get the grind. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. We appreciate it a lot. Yeah.
I think it's just great how well it worked out.
Yeah.
Logistically, too, you were just down the road at your mom's, and we're right here.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Fell right into place.
Everything in Minnesota is 15 minutes away.
Yeah, you're like, congrats. You just, like, you're doing what everybody else does.
In our head, you threw up that 100,000 likes number. I'm like, yeah, what are the odds that this duet to our corny podcast is going to get 100,000 likes on TikTok? I'm
Yeah,
like,
and I looked like a scrub. I'm like in
slow
my
zoom
Southwest
in.
middle seat, like,
Neck pillow on.
yeah. But it's crazy.
yeah.
I had a little confidence. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I've had it's not like I've never had a video hit that. So I'm like, this could definitely happen.
It's
But
meant to be.
It's meant to be. But it's just crazy. Like, TikTok is such a crazy place because there's like these, it's like clicky, right? Like it's like a high school where there's like little cliques, and there's like the hockey clique and the like lifestyle football clique. And it's so weird to see like the comment section, like the cliques come together. Like literally this emoji.
Yeah.
Literally. And I had some confidence that like our audience knew you well, and that's why we kind of wanted you on, because you do post similar content, and I think the same demographic, or they kind of share each other. So I wasn't sure, but then when you made that duet and then I saw the comments and people being like, I want this collab, then I was like,
let's make
okay,
this happen.
I guess our audience really does love your content too, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's also like a little humbling and exciting to be like, this is like such a specific video, the duet that I made, where like if you're liking the video, you're like actually invested.
Yeah.
You're not just like a random person. Otherwise, maybe you like the video because you're like, ooh, this is fun. But it's like, okay, so 160,000 people were like, yeah, I want Isaac to be on the fan club pod.
Exactly.
Isn't that weird?
It is, yeah.
It
I
is
see
weird.
like people asking for likes for a challenge. I rarely even like it.
Yeah,
Just
you're like,
kinda
are we
scroll
Yeah, you
through it.
scroll
I'm
past it.
desperate.
This doesn't
Yeah.
affect me. Next. But
It's so crazy. And like,
it's a good way to think of it.
I know. It's just, again, it's like humbling. You're like, oh, shoot. That's like, people are committed. So I'm super excited to be here.
Do you think a lot of people wanted just to see you be on an interview? Like, have you done many like Isaac interviews recently on podcasts?
Not really. My wife's done a couple, but I don't know. I think people just like the hype. Like they like the energy, and if they know the person and the platform, they're just hype on it. But hopefully that's the case. Hopefully people are like, we just need more Isaac. Like, let's. And it's funny because you guys said Isaac Rochell, probably very intentionally. You're like, all right, let's not disrespect this man. Although I do love the Cooch thing. And people are like, oh, they said your name right. You have to be on the pod.
I saw those.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
The funny
comments.
thing is that we made that video, and the first one, we were going to post it earlier, ended up spelling your first name wrong.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang it, like, gotta change this. We're calling him out. We can't spell his name wrong. Ended up fixing the first name, and I don't know if you saw we spelled your last name
Yeah,
wrong.
I did. It's so common, though. You want to hear a fun fact?
And then almost 1 million people saw it.
And-
Everyone's probably
Who
like,
cares?
And then the day we were going to post it, he almost didn't post the video. And he's like, kind of like, I'll wait
Dang.
till wait till the weekend.
we
I'm
were going
like,
to post it today.
I was
we're
like,
gonna-
post it now. Just like, because I knew, like you said, you were asked if we knew that you were coming. And I think a long time ago, I just saw Allie like rattling off the cities that you're ending up going to. And Minneapolis was one of them. So I was like, I know they're swinging in, but I don't know exactly when.
They're in range.
So they're in range. Yeah. So we're going to make the video. That's our dart into the range
Couldn't
field.
have been perfect range.
Yeah. Yes.
Literally me on the flight coming here. It
Literally,
was
yeah.
perfect. And again, the TikTok community is crazy, just people tagging. But what I was going to say about the last name, because it's kind of funny. My dad is one of 10 kids. And he's like from backwoods Arkansas, like their country. And their family, of the 10 kids, there's 3 different spellings of the last name. Which, I mean, it's like, how do you're spelling your name different, but whatever. So technically, it's spelled wrong for our household, but
Okay.
you know, you go
Interesting.
2 brothers over and it's spelled like that. So
That's funny.
it's weird, yeah.
And what were you saying about Allie's last name too?
Yeah, so Kacharzik, everybody's like, oh, Allison Cooch, Mr. Cooch, like, but her last name is Kacharzik, which it's Kucharczyzyk, which is brutal because she hasn't changed her last name. So like every time I'm like on the phone, like spelling it, it's wild. But she just made her TikTok handle, every handle Allison Cooch.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually funny. A long time ago it was Allison K, because she was like, Kacharzik's too long. Let's find something cool. Glad it wasn't that. And so Cooch has just become something that's like her stage name, but like it's really Kacharzik. It's crazy though. I'm thankful it's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like, I was gonna say, because it's kind of like the community got behind it, and now you kind of got to stick with that banter between you, Rochell, her, Cooch, and it's just they've kind of like molded that in, and you guys just kind of run with it now, pretty much.
Yeah, well, and it's so crazy because the content of like me being Mr. Cooch is so wild how it came to be. I mean, people when she first started posting videos, she was getting teed off on. I mean, it was like, you're a gold digger. Obviously, there's like the interracial relationship piece, and I think people are like, all black athletes date white girls and marry white girls. So she was getting tore up, and she just like very gracefully, very like tastefully, everything, like just switched the narrative. And I think it's hilarious. I love when people are like, Mr. Cooch, because it's really like, I talk about it on my channels, like celebrating my wife, being excited. Like I'm genuinely so proud of what she's done. And she's created a lot of opportunity for our family. Like dudes in the locker room are mainly like, bro, can you give me TikTok tips? But there's a few guys that are like, man, they call you Mr. Cooch. I'm like, man, that's paying the bills. Like, so it's like, I'm just so thankful for everything she's done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really been quite the year for you both, really. And I think everyone on TikTok around our demographic would know exactly what you guys are up to and all these opportunities that have been coming. I mean, you've been traveling a lot.
Yeah.
I know we wanted to ask, because you said in one of your videos that you are maybe the best +1 ever.
Yeah, I'm a pro.
How was that trip? Where was it again exactly?
We went to Turks and Caicos, which, bro, it's like, it's hard to describe how nice the trip was.
I want to go there.
I mean, you get there, everything's like taken care of. There's drivers to the place. And let me rewind. We were Prince, we're in Minnesota. Prince's house in Turks and Caicos, obviously he doesn't go there now, and RIP to Prince, but it was his like former house.
Wow.
This thing was crazy. It was a 15-person like house, or 15-bedroom house, and we walk in, you look down, there's jet skis lined on this private beach. Like, take them if you want. I'm like, okay, bet. Handing you drinks. There's like a full 30-person staff.
Wow.
Private chef, massage, IV, like anything you need. Like Drake, you know how he like talks about Turks? Like when I took you to Turks, like that's the house he stays in. He was going there the next week.
That's crazy.
I'm like, I'm built for this. I'm a +1. No, but it's been really cool. But also like, because I have my platform, I really lean into the +1 thing, because I know we wouldn't be there if my wife didn't start doing this. But it's cool to be able to like have my own personality within it. But that trip was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice that, I mean, you work together so well that like maybe some people are more fans of you or some people are more fans of Allison, but overall they love when you're in content together, and people have definitely molded to your guys and your family. So it's just
they eat it
incredible.
up. It's crazy. Again, it's a blessing, right? Like, and it's humbling, because we are so genuinely us on social media, and I know a lot of creators say that, but we really are. Like, we spend every second together because of the NFL schedule. Like, when it's an off season, she's not going to work. Like, we're together every second, and so like what we show, we can't help but make it like who we genuinely are. And we're not the type to like fake content, because I'm a horrible like actor. I actually can't stand content that even has an ounce of it being fake.
It's so hard to fake that too.
Yeah,
like,
it's cringy too.
I
Yeah,
see
you can
it.
sense it.
People aren't dumb. They can tell.
Yeah, they can
that
tell.
you're not into it, or maybe they meet you on the street and you're like not a cool guy or not nice at all to anyone, and they're like, okay, so these guys are just posting a lie all the time.
Yeah.
But you're really good at coming off though as like yourself, and it feels like you're on FaceTime. Like you'll set it up for a
Thank you.
you'll set it up for a get ready with me, and you'll go through that, and it's funny because it does feel very natural. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to do when you know it's rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've probably had a lot of practice to get there, but yeah, you nail it now. It's hilarious.
Yeah, well, thank you. And it is crazy because I look at videos from even a year ago when and we were successful a year ago, and there'd be videos with 5 million views, and I'm like, dang, I feel like even watching that, it's like I could have done that video so much better. But you just learn, and I think it's fun, like getting better at it and getting better at it. Sure, I mean, it's like you guys doing the podcast, like you just it becomes a flow and a cadence. But we love doing it.
Yeah, it's also way more sustainable when you can just be yourselves. You don't have to keep putting on this act for people or do what you think they want to see when all they really want to see is you and your wife just be
Living.
yourselves. Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm realizing, because for instance, the gym video. So I did the gym day in life 2 days ago, but I posted it yesterday, and it was objectively a very boring vlog, right? Like there wasn't any content or contents. Like I'm just in the car complaining about Lifetime, and people are probably like, dude, you're not relatable. But either way, I was like, if people can engage with that, that shows that there's an engagement that's deeper than going to Turks and Caicos and going and doing these crazy things. It's no, we just genuinely like engaging with you in a way that's like a FaceTime. So I think that's been the coolest thing. It opens up the doors of what content you can do.
Definitely.
And it makes it 10 times easier, like you're saying.
And there's way less edits.
Way less edits.
Have you been learning that from Allie at all? Like, did she kind of do that first, or give you this framework of how to be a creator, and you've been getting taught and kind of following along with her format and style?
Yeah, well, I absolutely learn a lot from her. It's funny though, people are always like, oh yeah, Allie edits all your videos, Allie does all your content. I'm like, no, I do all my stuff, everything. I'm recording in here, and I'll edit it on the plane and post it. It's all my doing. But I absolutely learn a ton from her, because she's, like I said, she's been doing this for 10 years, posting YouTube videos and all these things. And again, that's why I'm so proud of her, because I've been with her 10 years. And at the beginning, I was like, can you put the camera away? Can we not?
That's so funny you say it. That was Lawson to us.
That was us, literally us.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then you become the guy that's like, oh, dude, this makes money. It's a thing. Okay, pull the camera out.
Yeah.
So did she obviously had accounts before you had your platform? Did she urge you into doing that, or is that something I kind of want to start this now too and see where it could take me?
So and we'll just talk about TikTok specifically. So she created a TikTok in 2020 when everybody did, right? We're all bored. COVID sucks. Let's just scroll. She created a account, started posting, and I got on, and I was like, this is little kids just dancing. I feel weird even watching this. So I was like, I'm not going to get on. You got it. And she never was like, you really should. You really should. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just test it out and post a video. It was a nighttime routine as an NFL player. And I gained 80,000 followers immediately. Wow. And so then I was like, okay, I'll do this. But she was never like, you need to do this. But it's just so funny because I got on and immediately passed her in followers. Immediately. And then it was just overnight. She just kept growing and growing and growing. And even on Instagram. And I remember when she first started, and again, not that followers are everything, but I'm going to refer to followers as a metric, but we're not oh my God, look how many followers we have. So she had 2,000 followers when she started on Instagram, when she started TikTok, and now she has 300,000. But it's just so crazy. What? That's such a, I don't know. It's just crazy because you can make money from that. You have so many opportunities just from people following you. And she started from 2000 and she's where she's at now. Yeah. But to answer your question, she wasn't do this.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things, you mentioned that you can make money with followers and having this platform, but the life experiences that it's starting to give people too. We never would have thought we'd get to go travel to different NHL games for free. Or get paid to go to a game. That's crazy. I used to beg to go to Minnesota Wild games, and tickets were too expensive, and now we just get to go, and you go into Turks and Caicos or all these amazing events. It's just, those are things that they're basically priceless, and if you didn't do it, you would probably never have been at that house.
Right. I mean, I would have never been on the fan club pod. Like, what? But you're so right, and it's so interesting talking to different creators because now we're interacting with these like big time creators, and it's so crazy because I'm always the guy and Allie's always the girl where we're like big eyed, drooling. I can't believe this. We're so blessed, and we're like the cheesy little kids, which I love. But you talk to some people, and it's not like that with every creator. And I'm not saying that some creators are evil and horrible, but there's definitely a sentiment that's not like that they don't feel like how we do. And they're like, I don't know. There's just like a little bit of an ego. And it's interesting because I talk to some people, and I'm like, I'll ask them their story like you guys are asking me. And they're like, oh, yeah, like 3 years ago, I didn't have any followers. And I'm like, how could you, like, let's stop and just process that. How can you go from nothing to overnight success and not be like, whoa, I am so thankful. Like, people grind. People like my mom's been a teacher for 20, 25 years, 30 years. Like, people are grinding. It is such a blessing to go to a game for free and like do these things. So, and that's why really with the video and all the likes, I'm like, dang, this is crazy. Yeah. So I don't know.
That is so true. Yeah, when you sit back and actually look at like what you're doing because of the following that you have, how can you not be kind of shocked by that? Because it's not normal.
It's not normal, and it didn't even exist. Like, I was born in '95. When I was in elementary school and really middle school, I didn't have a phone. I didn't have an Instagram till my senior year. And now it is my job. You know, obviously I'm in the NFL, but it is literally a job to post and do these things, and it didn't even exist. So again, how can you not be wildly like in awe by that? I love it though.
Can you imagine the first time you hit post, you'll be like, all right, in 3 years from now, I'm going to be at Turks on this brand trip in these mansions and villa because I'm doing this like right now.
It's crazy.
Was any of that in your head about planning for the future when you started making and stayed consistent with it?
No. I think I just I was growing, and I was just like, I'm just gonna keep rolling with this. But early on, like, I definitely didn't think about it. I will say I was always like more in tune with like the art of posting. Like, my Instagram back in the day was like always like very aesthetic, and like I was always the guy that was kind of doing a little bit too much, but also like woke. Like, dude, we don't need this. But like, my posts are
You're
nice.
a creative guy.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I've always had like a good personality, I'd say, that can like talk. So I was like, I think I'll do something like media driven. So, but I don't know that it was like, I never had that goal when I'm posting.
Were you the only NFL or the first NFL player to really make content and share that stuff too? Back in 2020?
Yes. So it's a good question. So other people were making content like Juju, like the Corvette, that stuff, and like other people. It's funny because you can literally picture him on a logo, like doing a dance. But I realized when I made the nighttime routine, I was like, okay, there's like a level of transparency and vulnerability that I can have that will be very engaging, because I show a lot about the NFL, but there's a lot of stuff I don't talk about. That I think when I'm done with my career, I might talk about. But I just realized that like people will engage with any level of transparency, and I was the first to do it. So then I would make a video that's like, let's talk about like NFL 401k. And I'm like, I'm probably the first person literally in history, which is kind of dramatic, to talk about NFL 401k like to everybody. And so I was just like, I'm going to capitalize on that. So now everything I do, like when I'm trying to think of innovative ideas, that's kind of like the context. Like, how can I be the first person in my position to talk about these things? And that's why, like, Turks and Caicos, like, I'm giving more of a behind-the-scenes FaceTime view of it. And like, that's why the content in Turks was, like, wildly engaging. I don't know. So, yeah, I think I might be, like, the first person to talk about it.
And have you gotten some kickback from that, being so transparent with it?
I absolutely.
Really?
But I would say, like, 1 to 100, 95% of the time, there's no issues. but it just depends who your coach is. It depends what the locker room's like. A lot of people are more receptive in certain locker rooms, but absolutely. And I've been TikToking, and I've been on 4 different teams since I've been TikToking, so I can say this without feeling like I'm attacking anybody specifically. But I've definitely had, like, I can think of a coach that was like, you need to stop TikToking, and like telling me to stop doing these things. And I'm like, bro, you are so, like, what are we talking about? Like, what my wife is doing, because that's what I always lean on in situations like
Okay.
that.
I was going to
Like,
ask,
dude,
how do you
what
deal
my
with it?
wife is doing? You're going to talk about my wife?
Growing the game.
Yeah. But I'm like, what she's doing is, like, so cool. So, like, you just have to be really small-minded. Now, players, when I first started, their only reference of TikTok and NFL players was Juju, which he's done a great job on TikTok. This is not a Bass Juju session. But they were like, oh, the dancing, like, and then you meet me and you're like, I don't know if Isaac has the personality to be doing the Corvette dance. So initially people were like, oh, TikTok, like, and they're thinking I'm trying to do that. Now, again, guys are like, dude, like, can I get some pointers? And it's crazy because I tell guys, I'm like, I will give anybody a shout out. Like, literally, if you're in a locker room and you want to start TikToking, I'll do a video with you. I'll, like, help you edit it. I will help you, but guys just don't take it that seriously.
Shout out, that's funny too, because like they're in the NFL already. Like,
Yeah.
you want a shout out in the NFL, you're already an NFL player.
Right.
What kind of?
You're
It's
like,
like you
dude.
have a different level of clout from just being on TikTok.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, and that shows you the power of TikTok. But I don't know. For a lot of guys, like, I mean, if you look at me, like, anybody listening, you can look up my contracts. Like, so I think a lot of guys that are at my level of, like, what you make, they're kind of like, in the back of their mind, they're looking for another hustle, right? Like, it's good money, but you're still like, let me find another hustle. So they see, like, the money side of making content and doing all these brand trips, and then they want to do it. But that's not, you guys know, if that's your motive, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. So then when they're, like, asking for, like to be put on, like, bro, give me a shout out, like, they're not actually serious about it.
Yeah. So when did the dynamic between, like, the NFL social media, yours, and then your wife's? Because I know it's kind of like a running joke amongst you three that whatever NFL is saying "cooch" on the back of your, like, jersey
Yeah.
and whatnot. So when did that, like, come into, like, the picture?
Yeah, I think this last season, I think that's when it kind of, like, when the NFL was like, oh, like, this girl's got, like, some power behind her, like, what she's doing. And then they started engaging. I think it's so smart for them to do. It's so smart because they're not going to have to, like, pay for that, or they're not going to have to, like, it's just very organic. It's the easiest way to make content. But to answer your question, it was this year, and then, this last season. And then, like, when we got to the Raiders, they were, like, immediately like, all right, we're going to gas this up. I mean, it was like immediate. We want Allie on the sideline, give her a jersey. We want her, like, doing stuff. And it's really cool to see. And again, very humbling. I'm like, I've worked so hard in the NFL, and, like, the fact that my wife, who's worked equally hard in a different trade, is now recognized like that. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we got to Vegas, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but we got to Vegas, and, like, there was a sign company that put, like, welcome to Vegas, Allison's husband, and drove down the strip with it. First off, this company on their socials got, like, 0 views. And then they did that and got, like, 5 million views. One, that was crazy to me. I'm like, it's just wild. But to see that, I'm like, this is insane. Like, my little wife is just like, now it's like, welcome Allison's husband. It's so great. I love it. It's so, yeah. I think next year, too, whatever team I'm on, I would think that they're going to definitely, like, embrace the Mr. Cooch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they see that side of social media really helping them out to grow the game that way. Like, that's something that I think a lot of those major sports teams need, is, like, the access to the fans that they aren't hardcore sports fans, but they just love the content.
Right.
And you're kind of making it really easy for them to enjoy football and watching games and stuff.
For sure. And, you know, like, you can't build a team based on trying to get engagement on social media. However, I think there is a piece where it's like, if you have somebody like my wife who does it, and I'm on a team, you should definitely lean into it because it's going to bring in a whole new demographic. And again, like I think people who are on social media like the idea of sports, like I mentioned earlier, more than they're like checking stats. Like the average consumer of my wife's content is not checking NFL stats, but they're watching NFL games and they're consuming NFL media and content. So then you think like, okay, what is really important? Okay, it's just the label of NFL. Past that, it doesn't matter. So I think teams should lean into it. But it was crazy, like the Browns, when I was with them, like their social media like grew, their TikTok grew, and the Raiders. We got to the Raiders. The Raiders posted a video about Allie, and their TikTok gained like 200,000 followers.
Wow.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild, but it's smart to lean into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's kind of like another piece to the puzzle for the teams too, especially like the media side.
I think the coolest thing about like you really taking charge and really going after this is, I mean, we all know playing sports doesn't last forever too.
For sure.
So you've exceedingly set yourself up for life after football, and you'll be able to go on so many different media events or start your own sort of media company or something like that, or just basically anything.
Yeah.
You've really built the skills for the next 30 years after football.
Absolutely. Thank you, first off. Second off, you're right. And like, so I have two things to say on that. One, it's everything I post, I look at as like a resume. So like somebody could go on my socials, everything, and that's my resume. You know, even me on this podcast, I legit look at it in my mind as like, I'm going on, and that's a resume piece.
That's a cool point.
You have to, because this, if this did very well, which I think it will, shout out the pod, shout out the hockey guys, shout out the fan club. But if it does well, it's like you're now showcasing your personality. It's out there. The other piece that I was going to say that's super important is you're practicing. And like, I don't know that a lot of creators think about it like that, but like every time I open up my camera and I have to tell a story about the Lifetime Gym, I have to find a way to make that engaging. And that is practice. And like, even like I recorded that video, like I did one like about the Subaru and kind of like the Lifetime, those two videos. I like did those a couple times to like figure out how do I make this story engaging. And so it's practice. So I agree, and I appreciate you saying that, because there's an art to it. It's not just like, dude, I'm going to post this video and who cares. It's about like creating a storyline. So
Yeah, I think just you having the athlete mindset too. A lot of athletes, like, you go so hard into your sport. You're just used to always wanting to get better at that one thing. So when you try something else, you're not just going to half-ass it and be like,
yeah, you can't.
why would I just go a little bit in this when everything else in my life I've just gone full bore? And
Right. No, you're so right. And that's why people hire athletes, right? And that's why, you know, one day when I have a company and I'm running it, I'm going to hire athletes. They'd be like, dude, you're discriminating against non-athletes. But I think it's just like, it really is a mindset. But when you attack media like that and you're attacking the fan club pod like that and the hockey guys, it's like it becomes easier to just get better and better and better and better. It also becomes easier to not care if a video doesn't do well, because it's very trial and error. And me and my wife talk about it. When a video doesn't do well, I'm just like, what? Who actually cares, first off? And then second off, like, it's just a learning opportunity. But yeah, the athlete mindset absolutely, you know, fuels a lot of the intention behind what I do.
Yeah, we obviously weren't on your level. There's Division III hockey players, but
Bro,
this is our first school year out of playing hockey ever in 20-some years. And then, so we put all our energy into this. And it's kind of the same. We honestly, our joke, we've said on a few episodes, but our joke is like, podcast days are our game days now.
Yeah. We literally say that.
We
Legit.
like listen to music in the car on the way
That's like
here.
our little joke.
We sometimes do jumping jacks outside.
Me too, though. I'm like, where's my playlist? But, bro, D3 sports, till I die, I will say D3 sports are almost harder because, and I need you guys to take this with zero, like, personally.
Oh, you're good.
When you're playing a D3 sport, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you are playing for the love of the game. Like, I go to Notre Dame, I'm playing football. I'm like, dude, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like, boys are trying to get drafted. I'm trying to go play in the league. when you're D3 hockey, like you're just in the thick of it. You're like gritty. So and you're still on a schedule. It's not like they're like your coaches are like, this is D3, dude. Just show up when you want. Like you're still in it. So there's like no hate. And the reason I love sports that are D2 and D3 is because a lot of guys go to these schools and they don't play and they're miserable and they're trying to prove a point by going to a big school. Whereas you guys can probably look back and be like, we actually really enjoyed our hockey experience.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like that's way more important. You're going to be an old man one day or an old woman, and like knowing that you enjoyed the sport is way more important. So I love the grind.
You make me emotional saying that.
It matters.
It does.
Bro, these people go to these schools and they're like miserable. And
Just do it for like the free.
Get the guy some tissues.
Just do
Get
it.
him a Caribou coffee and wake him up. He won't.
No, I don't need another one. I've already had 2 today.
Yeah, I mean, so you
See,
feel
we're
that.
Yeah, like even looking back, basically 365 days. Well, because
Graduation
yesterday
was a year ago.
A year ago yesterday
Oh, wow.
for us, and so it's like it just puts a lot of stuff in perspective.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like the beauty of it is like, you know, those are, you look back, it's like that's the glory days, but like it gets so much better. And like you take all that information and all that experience and it fuels you. But again, like the fact that you can get emotional about it shows how important going somewhere that's like for you, how important it is. I mean, none of you guys would even be here if it wasn't for you know, this little D3 school that like people will hate on because it's D3 hockey. But you're here. So who
100%.
cares?
And
it's
there
crazy.
was, I mean, when we started, there was no one doing it at the D1 level, the content side of things.
No
So
one
we were
was.
really the first college hockey
Pioneers.
players.
Yeah.
And now there's a few more, but hockey's definitely still behind on the media side of things. But yeah, I think that definitely helped us grow, the fact that we were the first college athletes. And we had a decent rink, so like it looked nice and videos and stuff. So people, maybe they don't understand the D1, D3 hockey thing, but
But they don't care.
they didn't
That's-
care
Yeah,
because
they
they're just
don't.
like, this is cool. These guys are doing it. And our first year was during our COVID season, so we played 10 hockey games the whole year.
So you guys like, we have time.
We had a lot of time. Our rules
of
were
time.
rink,
A lot of
and
beers,
home,
a lot of drinks.
and there was nothing else, so we just really dove into it.
Yeah.
It made senior year a lot more fun when we could be free and
Yeah,
continue
for
to do
sure.
this.
And like you said, like they like the idea of sports, but they don't necessarily care what it is, because did we not have people that thought we played in the NHL?
Bro, they're probably asking for your
followed us?
autograph.
Like they thought we were NHL players. Like actually when we graduated, they were asking like, are you going to the Toronto Maple Leafs next? Or like who's going to the LA Kings? They're like, we can't make that jump. Not yet. We're not that good.
We're just looking out. We're just
actually
picking
so
which
funny.
beer league we're gonna play in.
Yeah, right. You know, you're like, whatever. I don't even want to do that. And they're like wanting your autograph. But it's crazy. I mean, you guys understand my journey probably better than anybody because you've tapped into the same exact thing. But it is crazy. Like, you know, people don't care. It's funny, though. People will come up to me and be like, you're my favorite football player. And I'm like, honestly, dude, like Tom Brady, like there's better guys. But they don't care. Like, you know, they just like the idea of it. And
because you're more relatable than Tom Brady.
Yeah,
to
you're way
most
more
people.
normal.
Yeah.
You're way more normal. And it's like, I think a lot of athletes try to put on this facade of like, this life's not attainable. And their Instagrams and socials are very like, I'm trying to be as cool as possible. But it's just not, one, that's not sustainable. Two, it's not real. Three, it's not relatable. But yeah, you're right. Like I've tapped into something that's more like, I'm literally going to show you like, you know, the grit, like we're saying, just like the very normal. I'm getting like denied at the gym, even though I'm, you know, 6 years deep in the NFL and would pay anything right now.
How much longer in your like not even preseason, off season? When does that even kick back in?
So I'm not signed. So if I was signed, I would be at OTAs. Like I'd be like, I need to go to, like I have practice tomorrow. But when I get signed, if I get signed immediately, like in the next couple weeks, I'll go to OTAs for the last of it. And then there's a break in June and July, and then training camp starts August. And then it's pretty much just August through whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, free agency is super weird because it's different every year. So like my first free agency, I got signed like 2 days into free agency. It was like super quick, signed with the Colts. And then last year, it was a little bit longer, but I got signed pretty quick. And I just think as you get older, like teams just start to look at you different. Like I feel way better now. That's why it's so mind blowing when I'm like waiting to get signed. It's like I feel way better now. I'm a better football player, more confident as a leader. Like a team signing me, it makes way more sense now than it did 2 years ago when I got signed immediately. And it's just like an age thing. But it's just so weird. So free agency's wild. But now it's like off season training.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I mean, we never had to deal with any free agency or things like that. The only thing we had to do was get recruited.
Yeah.
But it's part of it. It's part of the grind, like you said, and I mean everything will work out. But at least it's what is it? It's May right now.
It's May. You know, I'm not worried about it. I'm a psycho about working out, taking care of my body, eating. So in a weird way, it's given me more time to just attack the things that I love doing that will make me a better football player. Also, like attacking everything else that I have going on in life. But that being said, it's like, you know, as soon as I get a call, I'm going to be like, all right, who cares about any of that? But it is crazy. It's free agency is wild. And I see guys, I think the craziest thing for me, I won't use myself as an example, just seeing other guys, good players who I've played with, like great players, not get signed. I'm like, I mean, it's like I just want to go up to like a scout and be like, this guy's pretty good. Like this guy's solid. But you have to think like there's so many personalities involved. Like your coach, maybe your vibe with your coach isn't great. One scout could like you, one scout could not like you, and then maybe you don't get signed because of that. It's just there's so many personality dynamics that are going on. But there's so many good free agents. It's wild.
That's the beauty of professional sports.
Yeah, literally.
It's just a world that just amazes me, all the back end side of things.
Oh my God.
Everyone's like, oh, you're on a team? You're good at football. You're not on a team, you're bad at football. That's what the outsider
It doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't work like that. I wish it did, honestly.
Yeah, right?
It'd
be a lot easier.
Way easier. But there's so many things that go on. And then you're drafting guys. And, like, you got to bet on those guys because you're paying those guys and they have, like, guaranteed contracts. So it's wild. But I'm just riding the wave.
No, well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm hype on this. I'm glad I came on.
I got one last question. For someone getting married this summer, I need some marriage advice.
From
husband PSA.
Yeah.
I've been doing the husband PSA.
Give me a husband PSA, please.
Okay.
Here we go.
Marriage advice. When's your wedding?
August 5th.
Are you guys done planning fully?
For the most, I would say so. We're done.
Okay. I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot with the husband PSA. Well, I'll give two pieces of advice. One will not be to you directly. It'll be to husbands getting married, engaged husbands, wedding planning, and I'd be curious to hear your opinion. The best advice I got, as soon as I got engaged, somebody was like, dude, always give an opinion on wedding planning. Like, never be like, I don't care. Like, oh, no, like, sweetheart, I know you, like, that's your thing. Like, I don't care. Like, you decide. He's like, always give an opinion. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't care is used many times in my vocabulary in the last few months. So I needed that PSA a few months ago.
Yeah, it matters, bro. Because like my wife's an interior designer and she has like very specific taste, and like it would be so easy for me to be like, oh, like you decide. But it's like it's both you guys. So that's my You're like, yeah.
Well,
we're lost.
We're planning a honeymoon now too, and so many options and questions. It's just I'm gonna be happy no matter what. I will be happy, like,
which is absolutely true.
But you just gotta pick a path.
You have to pick a path.
Sorry, babe.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, listen to Isaac. Okay, my advice for you on your wedding day, I would go along with all the cheesy, gimmicky stuff, like first look. All these things that you're like, dude, I'm not like, that's corny. Do all of it because you will absolutely love it. Like so I'll give you some context. We got married early, so we eloped, which we've talked about on our socials. We did a first look. We like had pictures before we got married, And when my wife was walking down the aisle, I absolutely lost it. Because a lot of people fear, like, oh, if I do all that stuff, like, the moment's not going to be emotional. It's not going to be. Yes, it will. Like, it will literally be the best thing you've ever done. So lean into all that stuff, because you'll look back and be like, dang, like, my first look was so special. And you walking down the aisle was so special. Oh, I'm so happy we got those pictures before the wedding, because we got to spend more time at the cocktail hour. So that's my advice. Like, just lean into everything. You won't regret it.
Dang, here you go.
We're gonna have to bring
love
the
that.
tissues.
I know. Seriously. Seriously.
Thank you.
Weddings are
Thank you.
crazy, bro. They're the craziest thing.
It's gonna be our first one in the friend group. We're pumped.
Yeah.
And oh, one other thing. I'm hyped for you guys too. When the boys are there, the gang's there, getting after it, it's special. So are you guys having? You guys are drinking at your wedding?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Open bar.
It's on his farm.
I would. Oh, yikes! Yikes! Good luck. You're gonna have to contain the crew. But so, like, another piece of advice that one of my homies gave me, like, and I had been kind of drinking like all day. It definitely wasn't like I might have had the slightest lather, like little bitty buzz going into the to game day or the game time. But after, my boy was like, big hockey guy, by the way. He was like, dude, come take a shot. And I was like, bro, I don't want to get like blacked out on my wedding. Like, come on, bro. Like, I can't do that. And he was like, bro, you will not get drunk on your wedding day. Doesn't matter how hard you try. And that held up. Because I was pushing it. I was pushing it now.
It's like your one day that you get superpowers.
Seriously.
Yeah, you won't be hungover. Or as me and my homies like to say, hung Ched. No, you won't be hung Ched.
Ched.
You'll feel great the next day.
Sweet.
So just lean into that too.
All right.
I'm hyped for you.
And how late should I stay at the event, at the wedding? What's the cutoff time where you got to leave?
I mean,
You stay with your boys till the end of the night? Do you leave early?
I think you got it. You got to follow the wifey.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be official then.
Yeah.
But I had this like glamorized, like, oh my God, like, we're going to leave. It's going to be great. Like, we're going back to the room, yada, yada. Like, my wife KO'd when we got back to the room, which was funny. But, yeah, you got to leave. Like, you got to leave with the wife.
Right.
Yeah, it's official. Now you're a husband
She's
now.
going to love you for saying that.
We'll shut down the farm. You gotta leave.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
think, like, you'll find more joy, like, the next day, and this happened to us, them being like, oh my God, that was like the best night. You're not gonna have FOMO. You're gonna be like, I'm so thankful that the gang was rowdy. Like, we saw videos of people on, like, because we had buses back to the hotel. Like, we saw videos of people on the buses like DJing, and I was like, seeing that, I don't really care that I was like, I didn't care to be there, but seeing it made me happy. So it won't matter.
All right.
We won't let you down.
Send some videos.
Yeah, and the gang can't be like, bro, we want you back. Like, you gotta let them go.
Don't leave.
You gotta let them go.
It's our
That's-
last summer.
Yeah.
Last summer with you.
Have you done bachelor trip? I
No,
know-
that's coming up.
Where are you going on your bachelor
We
trip?
are going to, I have a cabin on a lake in Ontario.
Wow.
So doing some golfing, some chilling in the sun. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I went to Lake Tahoe.
Mhm.
Oh,
Same
nice.
vibe. And we got after it. It was like a dungeon in there. Like,
There's nothing better than the guys just hanging out at the lake.
Yeah.
simple things.
Mhm.
We didn't even like, it was crazy. We had everything set up just at the house. Like, we were good to go. But yeah, so that'll be fun.
It's going to be great.
It's gonna be a good summer.
Yeah.
Big events coming up.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
man.
Great way to end it off.
Yeah.
A little bachelor
Husband
party talk.
PSA. We'll call you when the rest of us get engaged.
Yeah. You're like in time.
Yeah, it might not be for a while.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, thanks, man. This has
Of
been
course.
awesome.
Yeah,
For sure,
thank
bro.
you.
Appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
you got to
having
get
me.
on a plane. Otherwise, we
Yeah,
wish we
I'm
could
like-
hang out all day.
We're
great.
good on time though. This is
Okay.
good.
Yeah, this has been awesome. I think our fans are really going to enjoy it, and hopefully bring some of your fans over to the fan club too. Because,
Yeah, I'll put you guys on.
Let them
too.
know
I'll
where they
help
can
you guys.
follow you too.
Isaac Rochell. You won't find me at Isaac Cooch, but Isaac Rochell, you will find me on anything. And follow my wife, Allison Cooch. So,
Sweet.
Awesome.
awesome. Thank
all
you.
right.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate you boys.
Big fan.
Well, thank you so much, Isaac Rochelle / Cooch.
Yeah. Well,
Boys, good job.
We'll put his name.
First, I want to say good job to everyone in here. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. Especially the hosts with the questions and stuff. Great job.
Thought you were gonna toot your own horn as the
No.
producer.
It was fun though having an in-person guest because it felt like I was part of the whole process instead of just sitting there behind the camera.
You see, here's the scary part, and the thing that I was thinking about the entire time was, what if you didn't hit record on the audio mics? Like, what if my camera's like not gonna like that? I would
That'd
go
be
home.
sad.
No,
I noticed.
I always have that.
I was
peeking.
I as OCD. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't quite see, but is that thing counting up still? And is that thing going?
I noticed you keep like looking at me
Well,
when I was over there.
I was
But
looking at you too, just because I was like, you got everything good? Like,
Yeah.
Are you
He was
sure?
making sure you're doing your
getting the
little
video
tasks.
clips.
Yeah, that's
But
so
yeah.
funny.
But yeah,
You'll get your credit after we throw the cameras in the computers and
and we'll
make
see
some
how it
content
looks.
out of it, see how it looks. But yeah, I think it was an amazing interview. One of my favorites, if not my favorite so far.
I
It was
agree.
So fun to talk to him, and he's a great person, great talker. Fits in well with our vibe, I feel like. So it just flowed nicely.
Yeah, he's very smart and knows what he's doing, and has. I just love how people have really just fallen in love with his personality, and he's been able to just showcase that. And he's exactly the same person I see on TikTok, who is sitting right next to me here.
Mm-hmm. That's what I love about what he said too, about that practicing component with how he is making that. He's making those videos knowing he's like going to try his best to make them, but at the same time, they're just practice for getting better in the future in this episode. And that was really cool to hear, as well as just his thought on acting and how he has to not act because he can't. And
It's pretty parallel to like our experience across the 2 years.
Yeah, every piece of content is a resume piece.
Yeah, the resume
a
piece
cool-
was a good touch. I like that.
It's a cool way to
that was
look at it.
That was one of my favorite points, I think,
it was great.
because I like hearing people's plans for after sports.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have any plan sport, and then they're like, oh crap, I didn't do anything to set myself up for
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like moving on. I just said anything about 8 times,
You're
but
good.
he the fact that he had that in his mind just shows that he will be able to do whatever in the future. He could be a TV personality one day, or
Literally.
he could,
Oh yeah.
he could do anything, or like he said, he sounded like he wanted to start some kind of company,
Yeah.
him and Allison. So, and
They
he's hiring
will.
athletes.
Yeah, that was a cool
Maybe go work
touch
for Isaac one
that
day.
you brought
Yeah,
up about
that'd be sweet.
Just help him start a company. That'd be fun
That would be a lot of fun.
if we teamed up.
that'd be a good company, whatever it ends up being.
Ike.
Yeah, Mike and Ike.
Mike and Ike.
No, it was
That was
cool though, Will, when you brought up you were the one that asked the question about just like that sports mentality. You just like touched on it, but that was a very legit, like, it's so true in today's like day and age, like the athlete's mindset. You're kind of just like pre-exposed and just like had years through athletics that you can carry into like the real world, just like those skills and just different tools. It all just applies so seamlessly.
Work
And
ethic.
He's seen it all at the way bigger scale than us. I mean, he's probably a stud in Georgia, where he said he grew up, and then going to Notre Dame to play football.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a massive scale on its own.
Yeah.
And then being able to play in the NFL for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's the biggest scale.
Yep.
And it's the fact that he could, it's all the same mindset. It's just,
Mhm.
like you said, different scales of
Yeah.
size and audience and pay.
Yeah.
Athletes that are like creators, they always have this interesting perspective on what they do. Like they always have a unique analogy or angle for it, which is, I think, why they make for such good content creators, because they work at it for years beforehand, and they don't just make it for fun. They make it as in like they're going to the gym to work out, and it's just wild to know how much he focuses on that. And then you see, okay, now he's got 1.7 million followers. He's so good at making little videos talking about Subarus or Suburbans and the Dyna gym, and it's like
Yeah.
a little story that is not something you can do without practicing a
Yeah.
lot and having a great personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he's going to get a coffee. He sees something funny. Oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about it and post it and get 100,000 views.
That
on
is
it.
something, yeah. I wish I could do that a lot better. I'm not good at that.
You've gotten better at
but,
it.
Yeah,
but I
honestly,
think I've
good.
gotten better at. Yeah, I think we've all gotten better at it.
I think that could be a good summer goal for all of
I
us,
think-
just to pull out your phone and
Practice.
just talk.
Yelly's
I
getting
know
good at it too.
Yes.
It's just
Well, that's
so-
what
yeah.
he brought it up many times, and we've already touched on in the outro here. It's just like your genuine personality is like at the end of the day. That's what people like gravitate towards.
If you can hack into that, and it's not easy to do. Actually, on camera, it's very hard to do, but some people are more naturally able to do that. But if you can hack into that and pull that out as soon as you think a funny thought or think of a funny story, that is like the key to being a good creator. And I think I've sent many Isaac videos to Yelly, or Ali
You have.
videos to Yelly,
Both of them.
and just to be like, you see how like they're making a video out of nothing. Essentially, it's just like we just got to practice that more. Like start practicing. We have such an interesting friend group dynamic that we could pull out those stories daily, those quick videos. So it'd actually be fun if we like got Isaac in our group for a week and just shadowed him. Like just kind of shadowed his content creation to see what he sees a good story is with what we do here. I think we'd learn a ton from that.
You know what? We got to get
That'd
him
be
to be
cool.
a Viking. Then it will and can happen.
That's our next step. We got to call out the Vikings and
Yes.
get Isaac on the team so he can come work with us a little more.
Yeah. Vikings, please, please,
Yeah.
please
Skol.
get Isaac on the team.
Skull. We want the NFL.
We love you. We love your stuff. We watch all your content. We'll buy you lunch.
Buy your lunch, Vikings.
Buy a bunch
coffee
of good guests
and a
here and an open
coffee
seat.
muffin.
Who is our next call out though? What is the next play? It worked well this time.
I don't
did.
know. We're gonna have to strategize.
We will have
Is
to
it
strategize.
T-Swift?
But I think that might be the fan club's.
Calling card.
It might be our strategy. It might be what we're known for. Is we call out guests, we go viral, and we get them on because we have an
And it
army.
just trends, and we keep doing it, and then everyone's like gonna be like anxious to be like, oh, am I gonna get called out by the fan club next?
If to rally the troops, as you mentioned, to do that over and over again, that gives us some good power.
That's a
Yeah.
good
Yes.
army.
That's
got
a
a good
great
army.
army. We have the best army of fans.
Holy, do we ever have a good army?
We have the
Wild.
best army.
We can get 100,000 likes. Next guy that duets, you better be hitting 500K or throw $1 million out there. We'll hit it too. I got
Yeah.
a bigger horn.
We call out, they get to pick the number, and we go from there. It's a little system
Yeah.
that we're gonna put in place. So we're just call out people every single day,
Their price.
all summer long. It's the
Till
summer
one
of
hits.
call outs.
That
Get on
truly
the pod.
was like pretty crazy that
Yeah.
that video got. I don't know what it's at.
I couldn't
now,
believe
but-
how fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was overnight too.
It was 30K in like 40 minutes. I was like, okay, well, that's when he messaged. She's like, well, this is going to happen. So let's plan it. I'm going to cancel my flight. At least he was honest with it. And he did say that he would have been on either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause he
Man
was
of his
here,
word.
Which is nice.
Gotta love that.
What if it's stuck at 99? We'd have to make a bunch of TikTok accounts.
Just send it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a great person to know. Him and Allison are going to do some really cool things moving forward. So that was a treat.
maybe we'll team up down the road.
Yeah, and I liked. I know we talk about this all the time. We always are. We're still giddy when we get to go to an NHL game for free, and we were talking about the life experiences. And he's like, "We truly are just blessed and thankful for everything. Maybe we don't talk about it as much, but I know from when we go on trips and we talk to each other internally, cameras off or whatever, we're all like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah,
So we're definitely very thankful for everything that's been going on, and thankful that our army helped make this happen.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. This is one of those times, too. It's not an NHL game, but this is a life experience with someone we've all looked up to that we got to just talk for an hour.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, we have a platform, but we've been doing this for a while, and somehow we got, blessed that opportunity to engage with really cool people. I think that's something. It's not money or it's not like going to an NHL game, but to me those things are also
yep.
shocking in a way.
Yeah, it was just that's something we'll remember. Whether it
Oh,
is successful
forever.
or not, it doesn't matter. Like we came in at 7 a.m.
7
on a
a.m.
Sunday morning to talk to Isaac Rochell. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
we made him cancel his flight.
Yeah, that's just awesome. I don't
It
know.
is-
That's something
It is awesome.
like you mentioned too. a year ago we graduated. We didn't even have a podcast then.
Yeah, put
But
stuff in perspective.
It was a tiny idea for down the road, and now
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see. Where did you actually shed a tear?
No,
Oh,
close. I actually was
you
because
should
like
have.
yeah, it just like puts a lot of stuff in
oh, that would
perspective.
have been good micro.
Yeah. More tears. Tissue box.
More cowbells, more tears,
God, he just starts zooming in on Yelly. Get a tear dripping down.
just some slow dramatic music,
Yeah, music in the background.
violin.
Yeah.
No, that was awesome.
Yeah, and cool.
Can't
That
wait
was
for this
great.
one
Yeah.
to be released for everyone to
Yeah.
hear.
Hmm. Well,
That was
let's
fun.
get those cards in the computer. Let's
get to work.
Let's lock in officially recorded episode.
The week that this is coming out, maybe one of the most fun weeks of content that everyone will get to see as well,
Yep,
if my
Mhm.
calendar is correct.
This is not coming out next Monday.
2 Mondays.
Yeah,
2 Mondays.
Yeah,
2 Mondays.
so not tomorrow, but the next.
Yep.
Monday. Yeah,
It'll be
then
after
that
an amazing
vlog
trip.
That
Oh,
week
that
will
vlog.
be amazing
Oh,
too.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That whole week.
Okay, yeah.
We got good
Wasn't sure if
content
you're talking
coming
about
up.
TikTok content. or
This
not.
whole week, when you're listening to this now, this is an amazing week of
Yeah.
content.
Yes,
Actually,
that's
they'll
what I was
be
trying to say.
we'll be up at my cabin most
Oh, yeah.
likely then for
Oh,
the drop of
true.
this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing, fun, and exciting. Can't wait.
All right, guys. Well, good work today.
Before he falls asleep.
Sheesh. He's just like, oh crap, I gotta go.
Yeah,
edit."
I got so much work to do.
But thank you everyone for listening, guys. Great job. Once again, thankful we got to do this. It was super cool experience. Isaac's a great guy, and excited to get to know him more down the road. Good luck to him in this upcoming football season, and to him and Allie for whatever they're up to. I'm sure they're going to keep killing it. Everyone should definitely keep following them and looking up to them because they just show pure happiness and fun.
Yep.
And I don't know. They're just great people from what I've seen and what we just heard from Isaac himself. So I think that they're doing something really cool, and we're very grateful to have them on, or have Isaac on. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening so much and for making this happen. We really, really, really appreciate it. And here's to the fan club.
Here's the fan
Cheers.
club, Isaac.
Onward and upward.
The fan club, everyone who is a part of the fan club, which is us, the producers, Mr. Kaplan, because he helps pay for this studio, the fans, the guests, everyone who shares everything. That's the fan club, and we really appreciate you all.
Mhm.
One big team.
Big fan of Isaac.
It's been a
Huge
it's been a
fans
morning
of it.
full of expressing our gratitude towards a lot of things.
Mhm.
So as always, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I think you're really, really going to like this interview.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you do. So please share it out. And definitely go follow Isaac and Allie.
And lastly, if you are listening up to this point, you are made for the fan club newsletter. It is a newsletter written up of each guest that has way more details and information that posts every single Monday.
We'll see you at the newsletter.
Check out our bio for more.
One thing I want to say too.
Oh, we're going to keep adding.
One thing I want to say too is leave a review on Apple and Spotify.
Yes.
I'd
What's
love-
that do?
I'd love to see the reviews.
Is it like a comment?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Didn't
please.
know you could
please,
do that.
please.
Yep.
So, anyways,
Midwestern goodbye, right, Will?
we just
Yeah.
did a Midwestern goodbye. That's typical. That's a good one. There's no one behind the producer right now, but Cuddy, sign us out.
And cut.